Alrighty guys, if you are new to watching my videos, my name is Shook. If you don't know who I am, I make posts on this subreddit called DF Sports. One S, so it's DF and then Sports. Yeah, come to this post. I make updates with all the news that comes out during the day, what I like, etc. People ask me questions, I respond to them. I will give you an answer to whatever question you have. People talk strategy as well. A lot of great people here. So please come over and check this out. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can message me on this Reddit, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. Um, just would like to say, we did it, boys. We hit that 1K. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Taking a look back at my lineups from today. I show you my lineups every day. Where is NFL? Where is NFL? Hello? Hold on, guys. Why is it not showing NFL? This was not NFL. Did I get scammed? There we go. So as you can see here, really, really good day with NFL as well. Just been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. It's been a phenomenal week and a half of just absolutely smashing. But yeah, ran bad on the showdown. Put in like $80. I won 46, so won a little bit, about half of my buy-ins back, more than half of my buy-ins back. The only reason I was absolutely crushing until overtime. Also, I had an insane amount of Isaiah Livers. I had one Isaiah Livers lineup. I had two Livers lineup. I had three Livers lineups. 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I saw 8 there. 7 or 8. I had 8 Livers lineups. He's absolutely crushing. Gets injured in the first 2 minutes, but yeah, man. Overtime killed me, but I'm happy to only lose $30 with that many Livers lineups. And then NFL Showdown. Man, if you guys aren't playing cash, I really suggest you playing cash because it's free money in my opinion. I went Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Ramondre, Bass Folk, Jonnu. Yeah, put like $200 in cash down. Obviously, one doubled up in most stuff, so won about $180 tonight in NFL stuff. So about $150 profit on the day. So it's been a really, really good week for me, and I hope you guys have been having a good week too. Well, now let's get to this NBA slate for the 2nd of December. All right, let's fucking do this. Washington and Charlotte. So it's obviously a good spot here. Washington, these guys aren't going to project the best on a big slate like this. Like on a smaller slate, sure. But a bigger slate like this, they're not going to project as top plays, especially at their respective prices. So they're just GPP plays for me. Like it's a phenomenal spot against Charlotte. Charlotte is terrible against opposing big. So if I had a favorite between the big three of Porzingis, Beal, Kuzma, it would definitely be Porzingis. Especially if he's going to be low owned, I think he's a good GPP play. So I do like Porzingis for GPPs. Beal, Kuzma, just secondary plays at these price tags. Not much there for me. I think I would just go to Porzingis. So I'm spending up for one of these Washington big three. Monte Morris is, he'll probably play around 30 minutes. Their point guard, he'll have the ball in his hands. 4.5K, he's playable. There isn't a lot of standout value on this slate, but locking one of your guard spots early is definitely going to suck, especially because Tyrese Halliburton is questionable, which means if you're locking a guard spot early, you're not going to have as much opportunity to get to TJ McConnell. So I don't think it's worth it, but I thought I mentioned Monte Morris is definitely a playable value, but I don't think it's worth it for the opportunity cost there. So it's it's a good spot for Charlotte here. LaMelo's out, Gordon Hayward's out, Smith Jr.'s out. So Terry Rozier, 7.6K, I think is a good play. I think this price tag does seem a little bit too cheap, even though he hasn't been producing or paying off this price tag yet. But he's going to play huge minutes, assuming the game stays close. He's going to be the clear guy on offense. If no one's going to play Terry Rozier, I'm going to be all over him in GPPs. So I do like Rozier for GPPs. Uber at this price tag, I'll fade. PJ Plumlee, they're both playable options. They're just there for me, and then I'm not going to go to Maladon with Terry Rozier back. On the Miami side, let's see if I can remember it. Butler questionable. Tyler Hero probable. Let's go. Max Strus questionable. Fuck. Probable. Jovic questionable. Highsmith probable. Robinson probable. Dunk, Gabe Vincent probable. Let's go. So, tough spot here. Two teams that play slow, two teams that play good defense. Last game is definitely an outlier. They're not going to score 250 combined points. So if people are going to chase that, they are fish. They are fish if they're going to chase that. I'm expecting a much slower paced game. A game where they're going to play good defense. They're not going to score that many points again. So Butler, if he plays, I'm off everyone on this team. I think Bam's still fine in the matchup because Boston has been bad against opposing bigs. But I'm off this team if Butler plays. If Butler's out again, you can consider Tyler Hero, but I think Bam would be still an okay play, just because I like the matchup specifically for him. And then there's a viable dart that I will mention here for GPPs, and that is Gabe Vincent at 3.1K. I don't know if he was limited this game, but Gabe Vincent is not a min-salary player, and if you saw in the beginning of the season, he was clearly in this rotation. I think Kyle Lowry is out a lot, though, but he was a guy that was getting, with everyone healthy, around 20 to 25 minutes. So if I knew Gabe Vincent was going to play around 25 minutes at the flat min, I would have some interest for GPPs, and I don't think anyone's going to play him. So if you are playing 20 max, or if you're playing 150 max, if Jimmy Butler's out, I think Gabe Vincent's pretty sneaky for value tomorrow. I do. So some interest there. On Boston, no standouts for me. Tatum, has been phenomenal. He's been, one of the best players in the league. You can't deny that. Just been phenomenal. He's going to go over-owned after his past performance against Miami. Same matchup here. I think he's fine for GPPs. I prefer Brown now that the price has gone down. $8,000 does seem a little bit too cheap for Brown. I just don't like this game environment, and I don't like the matchup. So they're just GPP plays for me, but Brown does seem a little bit too cheap. Smart, no. Brogdon, no. I'll continue to say it every day. Nobody continues to play Al Horford. He continues to pay off his price tag. Price went down for no reason. Yes, it is a tough spot against Bam Adebayo. Like I've said, I don't like targeting this game environment, but I'm fine with it for GPPs. Nobody's going to continue to play him. So, and I bet you he pays off his price tag tomorrow. Another game environment that I just don't like. Cleveland plays slow. They play for really good defense. So I'm probably just crossing out Orlando. You also have Cole Anthony back, and on a minutes limit, you have Markelle Fultz back, and on a minutes limit. So I'm crossing off Orlando. I apologize, but I will not be playing anyone on Orlando tomorrow. On Cleveland, so there is some interest here. So Garland, Mitchell, I think Mitchell at 8.4K is a very good play tomorrow. Not very good, but a good play tomorrow. This price tag does seem too cheap. I don't understand why he went from 9K to 8.4K. And I'm pretty sure Orlando gives up quite a bit of threes and has been pretty bad against guards, if I remember correctly. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, I think Mitchell's a good play at 8.4K. I think he might get some ownership. If you want to go to Garland as a pivot, he has the higher floor in my opinion. I think Mitchell has the higher ceiling. So do what you want there. I think Mobley at 7K, he's just there for me. With no Jared Allen, his rebounding opportunities go up, so his floor is safer. Still has an insanely high ceiling. I probably wouldn't play two of these three together. I'd probably only pick one, but yeah, I think they're all three solid plays, and if I had to rank them, Mitchell 1, Mobley 2, Garland 3, point per dollar. Love is going to continue to be out. He is doubtful. Levert usually probably plays around 25-ish minutes. A playable value, but I don't think we need to go there on an 11-game slate. Chetty Osman will probably play around 30 minutes off the bench. He's been really, really bad. Usually he's a really good point per minute guy, like about a fantasy point per minute. So I do have interest in Osman, but solely just to dart on such a big slate. So yeah. Denver at Atlanta. So I think Jokic makes for one of the top spend ups on the slate. I don't think you have to worry about blow risk in this game. Jokic has been involved in a ton of blowouts and foul trouble. I think this is a spot where he could explode, especially if Clint Capella is out. He'll be going up against Onyeka Okongwu. So if Clint Capella is out, I mean, Okongwu is a decent defender as well, but it would be a better spot. At least I think Okongwu is a decent defender. I would have to check that. But yeah, I think Jokic makes for one of the best spin-ups on the slate. I'm not getting to anyone else on Denver. On Atlanta, so we're going to have some interest in Atlanta tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's not the best spot, but unfortunately, we have to have some interest in Atlanta tomorrow. So Clint Capella is questionable. John Collins out. Bog might make his season debut, and then we have already ruled out DeAndre Hunter. So if Clint Capella is in, then Trey, Murray, Capella, they're all fine plays. Bog, I'd assume would be on a limit, so it would be hard to go there. And then with Hunter out, they're probably going to start AJ Griffin. I know last game, with Collins and Hunter out, Culver and Vit Krejci started the second half, if I recall correctly. This is extremely important. I don't think they would start those two again, though. I think they'd go to AJ Griffin. Let's pull up Atlanta and see. Let's just confirm who started the second half. Yeah, Vit Krejci, Jared Culver started the second half for John Collins and DeAndre Hunter. So, with those two guys out, I would assume AJ Griffin moves into the starting lineup. And if that's the case, with no DeAndre Hunter, no John Collins, AJ Griffin is going to have a massive role here. He might lose usage playing alongside Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, but yeah, assuming he starts, I think AJ Griffin is a pretty good value play in my eyes. And then if Culver starts alongside as well, I would have some interest in him as well. He's actually not a terrible point per minute guy. If I had to recall, he's a pretty good rebounder. Actually want to pull up his college stats. If you guys never know, if you guys ever have an inkling on who's a good point per minute guy and you don't know, pull up their college stats. I think it's a good indication on like their peripheral stats, like rebounding, blocks, steals, etc. So yeah, average about 7 rebounds a game. So yeah, if he starts, like him for value. But AJ Griffin would be the real standout there. And then if for some reason they start Vit, Oklahoma City legend, you can consider it. But I don't think they'd play him a lot. Pretty sure Trent Forrest was in the rotation. He was, but I don't think we need to go there. Now, if Capella's out, you're just going to want to load up on Atlanta value. Like, Okongwu is going to be one of the best value plays on the slate. AJ Griffin, like I said, is already going to be a really good value play. This is assuming starting lineup. Jared Culver would like for value. And then you're going to have, like, Vit will probably have to play a little bit more. They could go small. They could do a number of things. They can go small with, like, Culver, Murray, Young, Vit. They could. It's just a lot to like here with Atlanta, with the value plays if Clint Capella's out. And when we get the starting lineup, I'll make an update. So that's extremely important for you guys who aren't following me on Reddit, to make sure you are on that Reddit thread, because I will make updates when we get that news. But yeah, a lot to like, especially AJ Griffin. So Lakers, nothing for me. This is just a hard pass. I will say, Lonnie Walker, if he is out, I think Austin Reeves is a viable value play at 4.2K. Pretty reliant on scoring, but a viable value play. I'd expect him to play pretty big minutes again if Dennis Schroeder and Lonnie Walker are both out. But if they're in, can't really go there. And then LeBron, 80, both just secondary options for me in a tough, tough, tough matchup. Really good matchup here for Milwaukee. Chris Middleton is probable. One sec. So, I believe Middleton was coming back from a wrist injury. It is his wrist. So, I don't know if we'll be on a limit or not. I don't really think it matters for DFS for me because with Middleton back, I can't get to Drew. I can't get to Middleton, and I'm not playing anything else. I think the real standout is here. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo stands out as one of the best value plays on the slate, or one of the best spend ups on the slate for me. I just absolutely love the matchup here for him. I think this is a spot where he could absolutely nuke the slate and go for like 40 real life points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists. I think this is just a really great spot for him, especially with Middleton coming back. That just makes his potential assists go up even more. So I mean, yeah, I think Giannis looks really good as a spend up on this slate. Toronto, nothing. It is a good matchup here. Siakam is back. I think my two favorites here would be Siakam and Fred VanVleet. Siakam always destroys Brooklyn when he plays them. So if you want to ride that streak, I definitely don't hate it. It has a high floor, insanely high ceiling as well. If you want to go there, that's fine. Second favorite would be Fred VanVleet at 7.3K, which I think this price tag would normally be too cheap. But with the emergence of Scotty and OG, I think everyone's kind of eating into each other's usage a little bit there. Really hard to get to anyone else. So, and then this is another game environment where I just don't really like targeting. Toronto's been good defensively. You know, they play slow as well. I'm pretty sure. So, you know, KD at 11K, contrarian sped up to me. Kyrie Irving is very intriguing at 8.2K. I know he's been god awful, but they're running a tight rotation. They're playing Kyrie huge minutes right now. I mean, to pay off this price tag, he has to average a fantasy point per minute. I mean, come on, Kyrie, can you at least do that for us? Sucks that he doesn't have shooting guard eligibility. Um, but I definitely do have interest in Kyrie Irving at this price tag, even though he's been god awful fantasy wise this season. So yeah, definitely some interesting Kyrie. Ben Simmons is out, so I feel safer with Claxton's minutes. Pretty sure last game he got into foul trouble, so that's why he didn't play as much. Only played 28 minutes. Um, Not the best spot here, but I think his minutes are more secure with no Ben Simmons at 6K. He's just there for me. I'm fine with it if you land on him as a last man. And TJ Warren is going to be back, so really hard to get to anyone else on the Brooklyn side of things. All right, last 5 games here, guys. Philly at Memphis. Pace up spot here for Philly, even though Philly plays slow. Tobias Harris is questionable, but to keep an eye on that news. If Tobias Harris is in, Joel Embiid for me at the top, I think looks good as a contrarian spend up. That's it. If Tobias Harris is out, though, Joel Embiid would look even better. He would have to take on one of the highest usage rates in the league pretty much the past few weeks with everybody out. So I do like Embiid as a spend up, especially you get like $1,000 discount off the other spend up. So would like Embiid a lot if Tobias Harris is out. Like the matchups pace wise for the Sixers. I think Memphis is gonna have to make Philly play a little bit faster here. And if Tobias Harris is out, yeah, you can consider Shake Milton, but on an 11 game slate, I don't think we need to go there. I think Joel Embiid is just going to eat up all of that usage. So Bane is going to continue to be out. John Morant at 10.8K in the slow, sloggy paced game. Just more of a contrarian play for me. I think a lot of people are going to go to Devin Booker, which makes him a good GPP play. He'll be very low owned. And then once again, it's just extremely hard to get to anyone else on Memphis. I will say they're probably going to have Steven Adams out there to guard Joel Embiid and match him minutes wise. So you could see a game here where Steven Adams is going to have to play like 30 to 35 minutes. And at 5.3K, I think he's solid. I definitely do. I think he's solid. But I'm not going to go out of my way to play there. And then here's where one of my favorite plays on the slates is, and that's Brendan Ingram is out, Herb Jones is out. Here's where one of my favorite plays on the slate is. It's a phenomenal matchup. Spurs play fast. They play no defense. This is the dream matchup, especially for Zion and CJ. I think CJ McCollum at 7.6K is an absolute joke. I don't understand what they are doing with this price tag, especially in this matchup. I think CJ makes for one of the best mid-range plays on the slate. I absolutely love CJ McCollum tomorrow, and I think Zion is fine even with CJ back, even at this price tag. I think these two are just going to eat tomorrow against the Spurs. The only chance they fail, more so CJ fails, is the Spurs are so bad that this game could easily blow out. Everyone's happy for Jonas Valanciunas, right? I'm so happy for Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, yep, going to be going up against Zach Collins. If you want to go there, I'm fine with it. Trey Murphy at this price tag with CJ back, I will gladly pass. Alvarado is still, can't get there at that price tag. With no Herb Jones, we're going to have to see who they start. They could start Dyson Daniels. They could start, who could they start? They could start Najee if he plays. That could be interesting. They could start Najee. If Najee starts, I would like him for value. If Dyson starts, I think he'd be a solid value too. I would prefer Najee to start though, but I feel like it would be Dyson. We'll keep an eye on that. I'll make an update when we get that news. Spurs or Pelicans, everyone's just there for me. Like Vassell, Keldon, Trey Jones, they're all just fine secondary options for me. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Keldon. Shoots 5 of 22. Every time I freaking play this guy, but yeah, probably would be Keldon my favorite play, and they didn't move Zach Collins' price up enough. Got in a massive foul trouble, still played 27 minutes. Usually he's over a fantasy point per minute guy. He had an outlier game last game. I hope this drops his ownership. I still absolutely love Zach Collins at 4.9K. He is still way too cheap. Keita Bates-Diop moved into the starting lineup with no Sochan. Assuming he starts again, I think he is solid value. On to the Pacers side of things. So really important news here that's going to change the whole slate is Tyrese Halliburton news, and I am hoping we are not going to get that before lock, because if Halliburton is out, fire up my favorite player in the league that is not a Sixer, TJ the GOAT McConnell, who is a really good point per minute guy, a guy that stuffs the stat sheet, a phenomenal defender, a guy that's going to get you probably over 2 stocks a game. I would expect him to move into the starting lineup. He would be the best play on the slate. It wouldn't even be close if Halliburton is out. So that news is extremely important. I would make sure you can get TJ McConnell in your lineups tomorrow if Halliburton is out. If Halliburton's in, no standouts really. It is a good spot. I think Miles Turner is a good play at 7.3K. Utah has been terrible against opposing bigs, so I do like Miles Turner. Jalen Smith's minutes have been all over the place. He did get injured last game in my lineup, by the way. But minutes have been all over the place. Like I said, Utah's been bad against bigs as well. He'll play the 4, some backup 5, I do believe. So I think Smith is an interesting GPP play, and then I can't get to the other value. Halliburton, if he's in, I don't think I can do it. I'd much rather go to Booker at a similar price tag. On the Utah side of things, no standouts here. Probably not going to play anyone. Sexton, probably my favorite play at 5.5K. Yeah, not much else on Utah. Houston, still nothing here. Phoenix, good defensively. Not much here. KPJ, Green, fine plays. I think Tate might be back. So, yeah, nothing on Houston. On Phoenix, everyone and their mother is going to be playing Devin Booker tomorrow, but I get him at low ownership every slate. Now people are finally going to play him. Interesting. Going to be massive chalk tomorrow. Phenomenal matchup here against Houston. Definitely some blowout risk, but yeah, man, it's hard to not like Booker, especially with this matchup. I think he looks like point per dollar the best spend up on the slate. Point per dollar above 10K, probably the best spend up on the slate. He can still fail. Houston has been very bad against guards, so it's highly unlikely he fails unless the game blows out or he gets injured or in foul trouble. So yeah, love Booker. I think you could definitely play Aiden too. I probably wouldn't play both together. Britt is the 6.8K. Don't like the price. I think if you're fading Booker, it might make sense to play Campaign because if Booker has a bad game, the good game's probably going to be Campaign. But yeah, I like Campaign at 6.4K. And then I'm not getting to anyone else on Phoenix. On to the last game, guys. Chicago. So I've been attacking the Warriors all season long, and why would we change it now? I like the main three here for Chicago. I think they're all too cheap. DeRozan, Vooch, Zach, I think are all too cheap. My favorite is probably going to be Vooch just because Golden State, once again, very bad against bigs. So I like all the main three here. Value, not much. Patrick Williams is going to probably play around 30 minutes, more out there for his defense, though. The price has come down. You know what? Let's take a look at the last rotation because these prices are intriguing. So yeah, outside of the big three, they're just running such a deep rotation. I guess AO is fine, but I don't think we need to go there on a 11 game slate. So yeah, Steph, as you guys know, has a ceiling. His floor has been much better this year. Gonna play huge minutes, like him. Wiggins, Draymond, Clay, they're all just there for me. I don't have a favorite. Draymond probably might be my favorite with how well he's played running that second unit. Draymond might be my favorite between those three. Looney at 4.2K, nah, I don't think we need to go there. Kuminga had a massive game out of nowhere. Feels like chasing. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I hope this helped you out, and I hope you have a great night.